Okay, and we're back. I've got a different camera now. Seems to be a bit better, so we'll be using this one. Alright, so get your motor in on the motor mount. If you look at the Align manual, it tells you to put the motor in after you've put the top frame on and you've got everything else done. I don't do this because it's rather difficult to get these screws here into the motor when everything's already in place. So you may as well just put them in now, get it sort of in place. Doesn't matter about alignment or anything like that, just get it in, so that way all you have to do later on is just loosen the screw and slide the motor backwards and forwards through this elongated slot. So we've got a bottom frame with the motor in it, top frame. I'll put the servos in now too. You don't need the servo horns on. I've just left my servo horns on so it saves me a bit of setting up time later on to get this one back flying again, because there was nothing wrong with this heli. I just pulled it apart to get the video going for everybody. Alright, so the top frame mounts onto the bottom frame like so, and if you look from the front, see the top frame? That's your motor mount. It's a little bit skinnier, and the top frame slides in either side like that. So first one I do, I just let it sit down like this. I'll move the camera so that you can see, and just let it sit down just like this. Okay, so now what you need to do, this is a little bit tricky getting the first one in. Again, you don't need to worry about it putting Loctite on until you get your first screw in, just to help things along. So what you need to do, you need to grab one of these little spacer lugs like that, and you grab that, you slide this bolt through this front hole here and slide it through that little spacer block. So it's through that spacer block and it's hitting on that frame. So you just slide it, there we go, and then now you got to line that bolt up so it hits the frame, and now it's into that motor mount like that. And then we tension it up and just keep screwing, tension it up, and that's the first one done. Now you see from that tension the frame will just sit wherever you put it. Okay, so now we do the same thing. This is a metal mount, so you have to use a machine threaded screw, not a self tapper. Again, with this little cup washer on it, just like that, you can slide it backwards and forwards, but just slide it out, it's easier. Make sure you put them on. So you put your screw on the end of your square head driver, just hold the screw so it doesn't fall off when you bump it or something with the Loctite. Just put a little bit on, just a little bit, just half a drop. All you need to do is just get the end of the nozzle wet and that'll do it. So put that down there, and you grab another one of these spacers, and I hold the frame on the side like that and just slide the little spacer in just like that. Then I pinch it together so that spacer can't fall out. If you don't pinch it, when you let go it can drop down on the ground and you have to put it back in again. So you got that, and I'll just go out of range and I'll put this screw in. Alright, and we just keep lining it in until it lines up and it goes into that motor mount. You might have to jiggle it a little bit like I've got to do here, it's not a problem. And screw it in and do it up fairly tight. Also, you want to make sure that if you look at your holes now, they should all line up fairly nice and neat. I'll just have to move this one down a little bit just like that, and all of my holes are lining up properly. Do that now and you're fine. So we've got that side in. Now come back to this side again. Now take this screw out. like that. Just store it upside down so that little spacer can't fall out. At the same time, I'll grab my Vegimite jar back, set the camera up again. So I've got a raised surface. Put the screw on the driver, hold the screw again. A little bit of Loctite. And screw it down nice and tight. Okay, next one you need to do. You need to grab this spacer here. On my kit it's aluminium. I think on some others it might be a plastic one with self-threading screws. However, on mine it is aluminium. So I again need the machine screw. And this one is a little bit tricky. What I do for this one, I put that spacer in. I then grab the screw and slide it in. Get it aligned nice and good right now. And just a little bit through the top frame. Now you grab your motor space, the top frame spacer, and you put it into place. I'm going to need to go out of view because this one is a little bit tricky with all that stuff there. So I'll be back.